Hi, we're Chris and Teresa, and we would love to guide you on your fiber arts journey. We own a successful fiber processing mill and online needle felting business, experienced at raising all fiber animals, and have renovated a 100-year-old school into a fiber arts retreat center.
Processing, needle felting, yarn, roving, fiber animals, and sustainable agriculture are all topics discussed here. Think of this as your one-stop shop for advice, information, tips, and getting your questions answered on all things from farm to needle. So pull up a seat, make sure you're cozy, and get ready to be inspired while you learn. This is EweTube. Welcome to EweTube 187. We are here in the studio.
Yes, we are. In the studio, we're going to head downstairs and check out our projects from last week in a little bit here.
Yes, but first we want to introduce you to another one of our employees. And that is Katie Olson.
My dearest daughter.
So here I am with Katie Olson. She is our wedding coordinator. She also handles all of the vendor fairs and shows and numerous other things. So maybe you can fill them in on what you do.
A lot of random things. Random shopping, ordering, stocking, setup, tear down.
And she used to be the sole venue coordinator for everything until we added Kristin, because she also has another job. What else do you do?
I'm a nurse manager at Bethany in Fargo.
And a mommy.
And a mommy to two girls, 4 and 2. So that's enough.
So how is it working with your mother?
It's got its days.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm married to my husband Tanner for going to be 6 years this year, this September.
That's a lot.
You can't talk.
I have 2 daughters, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. They're both girls. And yeah, I'm a nurse. And now I'm a wedding coordinator.
So what is the favorite thing that you like to do here?
I like weddings. I like seeing it all come together the day of and all the planning that goes into it and
So there's
giving people what they want.
a lot involved in that.
Yeah, there's a lot more than just a typical event. I mean, typical events are less stressful as far as the details, but weddings there's a lot more details. So
You do an amazing job. So when Chris and I bought this school, what was your first thought? What were you thinking?
I wasn't impressed because I was well aware of the fact that my mom was signing papers without my dad even knowing this place existed. And I was like, this is great. This is going to blow up in her face. And I was here the day they first officially toured it with my daughter, who was in a car seat. She was like 3 months old, 2 months old, something like that. And then at the end of the tour, they start signing papers on the hood of a pickup in the parking lot, which we were just going to look, but that seems to be a trend with my mother. We just go to look, and we come home with things.
A school.
This time it was a school.
A falling down school.
Yeah.
And so you went home a little stressed? Or were you happy?
I didn't know what to think.
And you had met me like how many times? Maybe twice?
Yeah, maybe twice. I was,
Skeptical.
Yeah. I was like, this is
And so
gonna blow up.
when did you think this is cool? I'm glad we're doing this.
Well, I mean, once Dad was on board, then I knew the divorce wasn't going to happen.
This is good.
So, and then
that was your main concern. I
was like, he's this is it. This is the one that's gonna kick her out for sure. This is a lot more than just bringing home an animal.
Yeah.
We brought home a whole school. So
With somebody you didn't know.
yeah.
And you didn't know.
Yeah. It was interesting, but it worked out good. Once it started all coming together.
And now you get to plan weddings.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Katie. That was
Enlightening.
enlightening. Yes. Thank you. Well, you know. All righty. So, before we go on, we want everyone out there, Mike Peterson, who has been on
Many episodes.
many episodes,
From the beginning.
Yep, underwent a hip replacement. Oh goodness, 3
And
weeks ago.
We had that.
Yeah, we had that on.
We
here.
had him. We interviewed him after it.
Yep. And then it was more than a week and a half ago about, he ended up in the hospital with a severe infection. And so they had to open him back up. They had to take out a part and replace that. And and it has been nothing but issues. Trips to Fargo. He has a wound vac on. He's got a PICC line.
With antibiotics.
And his dear wife, Mary, I mean, she is just beside herself. I mean, she has to be nurse, and so she has to give him shots, physically give him shots in his PICC line. He's got the wound vac. I mean, he's just had so many horrible
Issues
things.
from the surgery. So we're just asking for prayer for him.
Absolutely. So if you'll remember Mike Peterson in your prayers for quick healing. And as all of you know, infections can be horrible, and once they start, I mean, we just pray that he can get it under control, and all will be well. And he can't farm, he can't put the spring planting in, which is not good. So, blessedly, a number of area farmers have stepped up, and they're going to help him out with that, which is awesome. Yeah, it's just tough. So we'll keep you posted on Mike, and just keep him in your prayers. Yes.
So this past weekend we had a basket weaving class. We actually had two, but we had to cancel one because the weather continues to be atrocious. A pain.
Pain to say
Anyway,
the
so
least.
Saturday we had a basket weaving class. That was a lot of fun. From what I hear, I wasn't here, but
Super cute basket. Had little leather
I
handles.
know,
And
it was bigger than what I had pictured
yeah,
in the
me
picture.
too. Yeah.
I never pay attention to the sizes, or if I do pay attention, I don't
Yeah, it was
visualize it, but it was pretty
was a
big and it
good-sized
was really
basket.
cute. And so we canceled on Sunday because of weather again, but she's going to redo that again on April 1st. So hopefully people can join that. And then she also added 2 different baskets that look really, really cute.
And people are already booking for that.
And they
They're
you
all-
fast, so if you're interested,
Yes.
you should do that.
Yep. Yeah.
Right
So pretty
away.
cool. If you weren't able to make this last weekend, you do have another chance. So April 1st. So that's
And then we
pretty
also
cool.
had Maker's Day, which was supposed to be Sunday, but we had to cancel because of potential weather, which it didn't turn out to be as bad as it said, which is really hard to tell here.
Yeah, and we have
because-
to err on the side of safety for for everyone.
And then we heard from those that were planning on attending that they wouldn't have minded being stranded at the Nome Schoolhouse. So
Because
we're,
it's the best place to be.
we're taking that into account.
Yeah.
And next Maker's Day, which is the first Sunday of the month,
Of April. It's
Of
April.
every
No,
month.
April 2nd. It's April 2nd.
first Sunday,
April 2nd.
from 1 to 5. That is rain or shine, snow, blizzard, hail. It doesn't matter.
Hurricane,
Having it.
derecho, anything. It's happening.
And if you get stranded here, good for you.
So be it. Yeah, we'll wine and dine you and feed you and take you care of
and
you.
if I get stranded here, I'll be happy too.
Yeah, it's all good.
So this past week, I've been working on polar bears. I don't know, since when? Since Christmas.
Yes, since Christmas.
So I made a polar bear that was my tree topper for reasons. I'm not sure. Just decided. And then I decided this would be, I should make a polar bear kit, polar bear course for the academy. And so, but then Chris said she was pregnant, so then I had to make 2 babies. Because they normally have twins. So I made 2 babies for her. In the end, I have made 5 polar bears. And the kit is now available. The academy course is available. If you're a member of the academy. And so that was exciting part of this last week that I finally finished that. And now I'm ready to move on to spring flowers and leaves. And be done with winter.
Yeah.
Polar bears.
Yeah, we're all ready to be done.
But yeah, the polar bear turned out really cute.
It did.
It's a wonderful kit, advanced beginner. You can find it on bearcreekfelting.com.
Okay, so what if no one has ever done a felting kit before? Will they be able to make the polar bear?
Yes. So if you've never done anything, it guides you from the beginning. It tells you exactly what felting is. There's pictures of every step. It's actually going to teach you more than one of the beginner kits because there's more involved in it. It's going to take you longer, a little more challenging than a beginner kit, but it's very doable by
the instructions. I know are very well done. So. Awesome. Oh, the blanket stitch. Thank you, Professor Sarah. We now know the answer.
Do you know the answer?
I do. You did the blanket stitch on your
which
needle
I should
felting
have brought. I never bring.
Yes,
I never
and it's exactly. And I
the
did the little whip stitch. So yeah, I now know, and I feel good knowing.
And it's the blanket stitch. That's what we should do around that new purse. Have you ordered the dealie?
No,
make
I
that
haven't.
Yet?
It's right here.
You should write that down.
I have not. I should do that. Okay. Excuse me.
Needs to get done.
Got that on the list. Okay. All right. And then we did a bunch. Oh my goodness. Thank you, faithful YouTube watchers, because I mean, when you usually tune into a YouTube channel, they are experts at doing whatever they do, and you have witnessed us stumbling through some of these projects. Oh, embarrassingly so.
So while I was editing the last YouTube, I was thinking, we look kind of dumb.
We're like, oh, look at this. Oh, let's rock this on here.
Let's just try this.
Let's try. But that's how it starts. That's how dreams start. That's how creativity starts. That's how, So you witnessed that firsthand, and I think it's okay that we shared that. So
hopefully you think it's okay.
I hope.
We want you to know that the courses and things that I do in the academy are very well done.
Extremely well done.
I know what I'm doing.
And what she does with paver pole in the academy is so cool. So cool. And you are an expert in how you use it in your sculptures, but this was something that we were just experimenting with.
And it was something we came up with that day, which is a lot of times what we come up with YouTube ideas on the day of.
And then you guys gotta bear with us muddling through. But so that was fun.
We're gonna share the results of our paver pole experience last
the
week.
errors and what we think we should do differently next time, and in just a little bit. But first, and then we're also going to do a cute little felted soap project with you downstairs as well. But I am going to share with you the rest of my story I started last week, and I started way back in high school, I think.
She started in grade school, and then we...
I was birthed. Anyway, okay. I just wanted to share how I came to acquire the milling equipment that I have, and how and what I did in kind of a condensed version. When I started praying and researching whether or not I should open a fiber mill, the first thing I did, of course, I had not been to a fiber mill, so I contacted the fiber mill that that processed my fiber. Rachel Alpaca fiber mill is and she's still she's still running strong, the dear one.
Where's that at?
That's in Hastings, Minnesota. It's just on the border of the Wisconsin border, outside of the Twin Cities. And I went there, and Katie went with me actually, and we kind of followed her around, and she was gracious enough to let us tour her mill and see how everything works. And it was an amazing experience, and it was something I was like, oh yeah, I'm on board with this. So then after that, I alone drove to Buffalo, Wyoming to tour the fiber mill. Oh goodness, help me. It's a big fiber. I mean, the fiber mill is so big. I drove by it three times. Buffalo, Wyoming. Mountain Meadow. That's what it is. Mountain Meadow. Okay, so I went there, and they because they had the same. I decided when I was at Rachel Alpaca Fiber Mill that I wanted the same equipment that Rachel had, the same carder. So I contacted Buffalo, Wyoming, and I went out to Mountain Meadow, and they did tours. So I toured.
Time to do Be Real.
Oh, it's not. It's looking the wrong way.
It's fine. No, it does it both ways.
Oh. Okay. And when I went out there alone, and it was beautiful country out there. It's right at the base of the mountains, and I drove by this Mountain Meadow fiber mill 3 times going, where is this? And well, it's so huge. You can drive a semi into that fiber mill. So I drove by it, and then I ended up going in there and touring it, and it's massive, massive fiber mill. So they have the same spinner that we have here, but they have all 196 feet of it, and we only have the first, probably 12, 14 feet of it. So it was something to see. And they had my carder. They also had, I think, 4 other carders. They had a big wash train. It's really quite interesting.
I want to go there.
Yeah, it is really cool. It is really cool.
When can we go?
Road trip.
Summer. We can't be gone in the summer.
Spring, but you're lambing. After lambing's over, that'd be a good trip.
May.
Yep. Okay. Anywho, and so then I decided, oh, this is awesome. So I contacted the gentleman that made the carders from England, and I said, I want a carder. And he said, you know what? He said, verge of retiring. He made one last carder, and that was the one that we have, and shipped it over from a slow boat. I got these. Excuse me, from England, and so I got that, and then I hired him to gather up the rest of the equipment. So that's what he did. And
did he do this regularly, or you just
this was his job? No, this was his job. This is what he did. Only I caught him on the edge of his
being done.
Yeah, because he had done, several carders, and he'd done several mill setups, and he did Mountain Meadow, and he did Rachel Alpaca.
And Rachel Alpaca had the same kind of equipment?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay,
yep.
Maybe I wasn't listening. Did you say?
Apparently you were too busy Snapchatting or whatever you were doing. Anyway, so then the dear one, he came and he rounded up all the equipment, and he flew here, and he came, and I hired him to be on site with me for 3 weeks, and I put him up in a hotel in Fargo, which was the closest big town, about 20 miles away. And he came out every day for 3 weeks, and he set the equipment up and got it all up and running. and taught me how to use it very briefly because it took a while to get it all set up and to get it all in place and wired and the motors positioned. And they had to be converted from 3-phase to 2-phase.
Did you cut them in half at that point?
When he flew to Maine, or excuse me, Rhode Island, where the carter or the spinner and the plier were, and he parted out. He cut the 196-foot spinner off and then parted out the rest of it, and then had it and was there to oversee the shipping, packing it in the semi to get it shipped to North Dakota. Yep.
So how come he didn't do that in the UK?
He did. Yeah, but it could not be flown over. It had to go on a boat, which took a long time. A long, long time, because it was too heavy to fly over in air freight. It had to be boated over, which took forever. So then he was there on site, and that's why it took a while for all the equipment to arrive and then him to get it all set up. So we were only able to card a few different batches and spin, I think, 2 batches. And then he flew off back across the pond, and it was just me for, oh my goodness, for 6 months practicing on my own fiber. Praise God, that's what I did, because it's a huge learning curve, and it was just all emails, any helps.
So were there no mini mill things available?
Yeah, there was.
What made you decide not to do that?
By visiting with other fiber mills, I decided to go this route because the older equipment, if you could get a hold of it, and I didn't know at that time if I could get a hold of the older equipment, if it was available, because I even just about had purchased my plane ticket to go out and see Belfast Mini Mills, the blue equipment out in Canada, way in the east coast of Canada. And that's the route I was going to go. And when I found this other mill, well, when the dude I hired found the other mill, then I'm like, okay, that's a sign. I'm just going to stick on that course. And I just went that route. And I was really glad I did, because it's, getting that old textile equipment, granted it's older, it's, the 60s era, it's just made to run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and there's no...
So do you think it was more expensive or less expensive than a mini mill?
It was about the same.
Okay.
Yep, it was in the end, because I spent, $15,000 on training, just to get trained in on the equipment and to have that support via email. If you want to start a fiber mill, we will step alongside you and help you in that process and answer the questions from, your business plan up until your first year and 2 of running. And because it's really hard. There is such a huge learning curve on just the different fibers and how they card differently, and it's all these questions that are on the fly. It's like, oh my goodness, this batch is doing this, what do I do? Until you've had all these different problems per se come through your mill, you don't even know how to handle that. And for the most part, I had to figure it out on the fly, because through emails there was a 2-3 day delay, in getting emails answered from the UK. I couldn't call him. We tried that did not work at all. And
so did you start processing other people's fiber, or you were working on your own?
Yes, I did not start processing other people's fiber till probably 3 months in, because I had alpaca, I had sheep's wool that I had purchased that I was able to practice on, and it wasn't until at least 3-4 months. And that's probably the number one reason that mills fail, is they hit the ground running. As soon as they get their equipment, they already have, because there's so much work out there for fiber mills, the people are willing just to, process my fiber. And they don't know their equipment yet. And the training you get, like if you order from Belfast Mini Mills, they'll come and they'll train you, they'll set your equipment up, they'll train you for, I don't even know what it is, 2 days. But you do so few batches in that amount of time.
And every wool is
And
different.
every wool is different. Even it's from the same farm. I mean, even from Teresa's flock, they're all different. They're like children. They behave a little differently. They need a little different gear settings, so on and so forth. And until you just do it, and you can't help anyone until they're in the midst of it. And that's why we've helped a few mills now get going. We have 2 or 3 other ones that are in the works that are getting their equipment, and we're glad to do it. And we charge much less than what I had to pay, 11 years ago. Just
because we know that there's a need for that.
There is such a need, and we're just happy to do it. I mean, we have to try to get something to compensate for our time, but it is, there is a need, such a need, even more so than there was when there's less mills now. When I started 12, 13 years ago than there is right now, and there's a greater need right now than there was then.
So most people that raise wool sheep and they want to do something with their wool, it's a huge struggle for them because you can't get it processed anywhere.
Yeah,
and you can, but it takes you a year to get it back. And if you want to sell products from that wool, it's
tough.
Nearly impossible, because before Chris opened her mill, I was mailing in boxes all of my sheep's wool, which was expensive, and then it took forever to get it back.
And you waited too.
Yes. And so when Chris opened up the mill, it was amazing to be able to just drop off the wool and say, I need this by this time. Yeah. So, and not everybody has that if they're raising sheep, and we would like, we'd like to have more U.S. producers be able to sell their products, and we can't do it all.
No,
definitely.
No, we have greatly. I mean, we have a few core customers that I had from 2011 that we still process for, but we are trying to grow our own business, and it's tough. I mean, the machines only work so fast, and it's not about hiring 20 more people. It's about getting more equipment, and now we've kind of maxed our space out here. I don't even know what we would do if we would find more
equipment. We have to build more.
Yeah, it's tough.
And right now, so we're not taking any more customers.
We are not,
because we're making our own products, which we actually make more of a profit from by making our own products and selling those. So that's what we're focusing on.
Because we have a 30,000 square foot retreat center here we need to pay for as well. So yeah,
but we do realize that there's more need out there for mills, and so that's why Chris will mentor.
Absolutely.
So you just need to contact us.
Yep, and I've had a couple different folks that have left not real happy with me, because the first thing you have to look at is, where are you in your stage of life? And there was one gal that came, and oh my goodness, she was homeschooling 4 babies under the age of 10, and she wanted to start a fiber mill, and her husband, of course, worked another job, and I just told her it's you can't do it. I mean, either your babies are going to suffer or your mill's going to suffer, and you can't have your babies, grow those kids up, wait 10 years until they're even to the age that they could help you, and then look at doing that. But I'm not going to take your money and tell you, go for it, yes, knowing you're going to fail, because you can't set it. It's so consuming. It's consuming. There's so much work out there, though. It's not like your competition to any of the other mills out there, because all the other mills will tell you,
do it.
Because it's not acceptable. Any mill out there hates telling their customer it's going to be 8 months, it's going to be 12 months, it's going to be 16 months until you get your fiber back. That's horrible. That's not, I mean, what other industry, I mean, it's not acceptable, but that's reality in the fiber processing mill. So the partnership between Teresa and I mean, to have the milling equipment here and to be able to just, let's do this, let's get this process and let's do this. It's a game changer. It truly is, to be able to have that at our disposal. to get these products out there.
And then on my side, so I knew I needed that because I was doing. She was processing my wool, but not dyeing it or any of those things. So I was dyeing it in my kitchen,
and that's horrible.
And
dyeing the roving in your kitchen.
She was prioritizing my wool, but still I had to wait sometimes. And I was like, well, I can't wait. I have orders. So that's where the partnership all came to be, because we both knew we needed each other, and that's how it all began.
Yeah, and then on the side note is we both knew that the education needed to happen out there, and because of the ignorance that is out there with natural fibers and with raising animals, and
that the farmer isn't the person.
Goodness, this, that, and the next thing. So to be able to partner and to have our daughters come on board and to kind of do it big, it's been quite the journey, and we have a long ways to go. We have to get the word out that we are here and that we are accepting, folks to come and stay and craft and learn, and those that do are customers for life and repeat comers. But we need help getting the word out and doing that, because it's been a tough winter. We've had a really tough winter up here. We've had to cancel more events than we've had come to happen. Isn't that right? Isn't that what you would say?
We've gotten so much snow here, and any wind at all just causes drifting, and you can't get anywhere. So we've had to cancel.
And this is an odd winter. Yeah, it's been tough. So
we're kind of counting on summer to get us.
Boosted up.
If you're planning any vacations, any weekends away, need a girls' trip, a crafting weekend,
we'll take good care of you.
We will. We have so many things nearby, and we're willing to take you there. We're willing to pick you up from the airport. It's a beautiful place to come and stay.
Yeah, even if you don't want to craft at all, you want to hike, you want to, see the sights in North Dakota.
It's a nice, quiet, peaceful place.
It is.
To come and relax. If you need a getaway.
It is, absolutely.
And it's beautiful. If you like old buildings, you think so.
Yeah, and we'll show you the mill. We'll show you the whole process, because it's quite
fascinating.
fascinating.
If you like fiber arts, it's just a
win-win.
You have to do it. It's just a no-brainer.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yep. And we did have one question that we want to go through, and that was, did you get snowed in last Tuesday?
I did not.
She did not.
I
We got her out of here
before any storming.
And now today, we're in a winter weather advisory again. So we're trying to kick her out of here by 7 or so.
We're getting to the point where we don't really care. But I'm stuck here, it's fine.
It's just ridiculous.
It's those 3-day blizzards. I'd just rather not.
Yeah.
I'd like to be home.
Yeah, and that's coming up Thursday, Friday, and
next week.
And we have a busy weekend coming up this weekend.
We do. We have several classes.
Your first bison class.
My bison class. And there is
10 students.
I was thinking of what other classes there are. What else was happening this weekend?
Spinning.
Oh, there's a spinning class in the morning.
Yeah, sold out. So that's awesome. And those are going on right now. If you're watching this Saturday morning, it's coming today.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Oh gosh,
and we're stuck at home and nobody could come, and we had to cancel it and refund all their money.
Yes, that would be bad.
So our question for next week is, we would like a name for our mama polar bear, because she's going to live here at the school. She has
3 now. Did you tell you? We haven't said.
No. Well,
she had a little triplet.
Several weeks later.
A triplet just popped out.
It's weird with felted polar bears.
Yeah, and it's a little smaller.
Birthing is
of course,
slow.
she's a little smaller.
Because felting is slow, so.
Yeah.
Birthing.
Yeah.
It's a smaller one.
Yeah. Well, she's still getting used to Mama, so we'll share her next week.
Yeah. So we need a name for Mama. So
Yep.
if you want to give us suggestions below
For Mama Polar Bear.
in the comments, and then we will put you in for prizes next week.
Which is fun. Fun.
So now we're going to head down and
do a little
show
crafting.
you. Oh, we're gonna do some crafting.
Mm-hmm. We're going
a
to do
new
something.
something. And we're gonna show the results from last week, which, you know, we learned a lot.
Yeah. Hello! Okay, we are down in Clink's room, currently the crafting area. And we'd like to show you what we have done here. Okay, so here is the cornucopia that I did. And what...
Oh, it was moving.
It was moving? What do you mean it was moving? That's because it's like odd. Anyway, and it's super cute, as you can see. It's super cute, and it did, I mean, it could be used as a cornucopia. It could be used as a cornucopia, but one thing that we did, we did read that shut up. That you should like work the paper pole into the fabric. So what happened here is the roving, so much of it just stayed on the surface of the roving.
Not the soap.
I said the paper pole. Did you not? Anyway.
No, you said the roving.
Yes.
Then I said the soap.
I don't know why you said the soap, because it's the paper pole. Like if you look right here, see, it's hard because the paper pole is saturated through. But stop. If you look right here, it's a little soft because the paper pole is just on the surface. And then we have Miss Perfectionist here.
No, bring it back.
Oh dear, here we go.
But the problem I have with it is you can see the
because it's just on the surface of the
you can see the crusted up.
Yeah, it's like it's not good.
Crunchy.
It's not good. But it worked. You know, same thing with this. You know, it's soft, but yet it held.
And that was what we needed to know.
Yeah. Yep.
It is soft. It doesn't show any of this. So whatever Chris did doing this, that got the stuff to stay on it and show.
Make it a little hat. Oopsie.
Is different than this, because this you can't see that you did anything to it.
It's because this is, you know, the roving itself is different than the felt. Whereas I put the roving in as like, it sucked all of the paper pole off, but then the other half of the roving had like no paper pole on it. And so anyway.
I don't know if the answer is don't use roving.
Yeah, I would say not use roving. Yeah.
Because this you can't see. You can't see anything. You can't see any crusty.
No.
No,
because the base is solid.
But it is solid.
Yeah.
It stayed like this.
It's like a little spring.
Which is what I was curious about.
But yet it's soft.
And it is soft still. You don't. It's hard on the inside.
Yep.
And you don't.
Okay, then we're on to our lampshade lady things. Yes, you don't see it. It's just on the roving because the roving is. Okay, now this is super soft on top, and then I just dip the ends in, which are hard. So I like it. Yep.
And then this, I dipped.
This is like,
I don't know if you remember.
This
I dipped the whole thing in just to see.
And worked it in
and
there.
And it is hard.
It is hard. And
but
yeah,
at the same time, it's different than the cornucopia that it doesn't show.
Right. Or this, which is kind of in between the two.
Right, and you don't see any of the crusty, weird stuff.
Which you don't really on here either.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You don't see it.
Yeah, and this is a piece of felt which is the same thing as doing it on fabric. You wouldn't have that either. So it doesn't work good on the felt is what we've decided. Or the roving, yeah. It works good on the felt, but not the roving. I need to just go home. Anyway,
so we're happy with how it worked on.
Yeah, on the felt.
The light bulb.
Yep. So stay tuned.
But what we wanted to know, remember they said it wasn't, the light didn't shine through as well on if it was full power pole.
Right. So what we need to do now is we need my husband involved to light this up so that we can compare the two, because this just has the paper pole on the ends and this is still, you know, very soft.
So I don't like how it's, you know, bigger on one side or whatever, but it's,
but
I like
it
how
holds
it
its shape.
did the thing and it held its shape.
Yep. And we have 4 ready to hang upstairs. So we're curious how this is.
So, but first, before we would dip them in powder pole and do this, we would need to know that, like, how the light shines through.
Exactly.
So Steve's gonna have to help us out there.
The little project tonight is going to be felted soap. So what we have is a bar here of ivory soap, which I got to figure out how to take it out of its little wrapper. Okay. So you're not doing this. You're doing it. We have discovered on a finished felted soap project, you can needle felt onto it. So I am going to show you how to take a bar of ivory soap, dip it in water here. Get that out of my face. And felt it.
By the way,
oh, we forgot this.
I was trying to make.
You were trying to make
the animal.
Hedgehogs.
Hedgehog fur, and this is what I came up with. It's not the best, but it did stand up.
Yeah, it's
only because we put that on there and then we hung it upside down. But so now it stands up kind of like, I don't know, it looks like a Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss, it would work in a Dr. Seuss story.
It would. We should write a book
like
about
a truffle a tree or something.
Yes.
But it doesn't work for what I wanted.
Okay. Anywho. Okay, so we're gonna take our roving, and you need a fine wool roving like merino, targhee, Cormo, what have you, to do this. Look at this. And we get this sucker wet, and we put this on here after we draft it thin, and we wrap it all, just hold on here, all around your roving, okay?
What?
All around your piece of soap. Okay, and you want to draft that fairly thin because you don't want it.
So what if they don't know what drafting is?
Show them what drafting is.
I'll show them. Okay, so you have roving.
Well, I pat my.
This is roving. Drafting is just pulling it
thinner.
So, like, if you were going to make it into yarn, you would want it to be thinner. So that's what she's talking about, to wrap.
Yep. So as you see, as I'm not putting it on here so thick. I'm doing more really thin layers, and then as I do it, I'm using this hot water we have here. It's warm. It's warm water.
3 hours ago.
Yeah, it was hot when we put it here, but of course then we had to visit for a while. And what Teresa's doing over here is you can actually needle felt onto the bar of soap after you're done with it. So, okay, just shh. After you get it,
but look at this,
kind of soapy.
That's
beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm doing.
Are you doing anything like that?
I'm doing a beige one.
Do this.
Okay, I'll do a little bit of this. Okay.
Because it's cute.
It does. It looks nice. So we're going to wrap this around in a cute manner. You can do this with yarn too, with wool yarn. You can accent felted soap. Mush that all on
Teacher,
there.
I would like to be moved.
Because you're getting splat.
I actually got some on my glasses from that.
Really?
She's like just slapping.
Okay, so then what I'm doing here is I'm doing a really quick tutorial. I'm going to start rolling it. See in my hands, I'm rolling it back and forth, and it's starting to foam up. So now at this point, I'm going to put it in my baggie, and I'm going to seal her up. I'm going to wash my hands off. I'm going to wipe them on my pants because I don't have a towel. And now I have the felted soap in the sealed baggie, okay? And now I'm just going to continue felting it. I'm going to turn it around and around in here.
And you might ask, what is the benefit of having
the soap felted?
This
the soap, it acts as kind of a built-in, that was cute. It acts as a built-in washcloth onto the outside of your soap, and it's exfoliating. It's gently.
It helps the soap to last longer, I guess.
It helps the soap.
I'm not sure how.
Because it protects it. It protects, it helps the soap last longer. It's ivory soap that's in here, and it smells so good. And so it's probably 5 to 10 minutes.
Teacher?
What? So as you can see, this is a really good way to make the felted soap because it's all contained in the baggie, and it's awesome. You can hand this to a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, and tell them just start, rubbing and moving the soap around, and it felts the heat, because when you felt the heat from the hot water, it was not hot anymore, but anyway, okay. Truth of the matter is, Teresa and I got it all over my own glasses. We're not fans of felted soap. I'm sorry.
Think it's weird. We don't understand.
We just don't understand. It's super pretty, but
it is.
Help
it's cute.
us.
I'm making a little
We
heart
know
on here.
it's exfoliating. We know, we are told it.
I'm not sure about the exfoliating.
That it may.
We haven't tried it.
We haven't tried it because I just think it's got felt around it. All the germs are going to be encased in there, and they're going to go to you if you use it after I use it. But they're beautiful, and
it's very cute.
And
it's soft.
It is, yeah.
Makes me want to wash.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing. I don't know.
For
help us. Help us.
Maybe it's for if you have teenage boys in your house. Okay, I have 3 boys. They work on engines constantly. This would be black. It would be completely black.
I wouldn't want them. See, it's got this cute, it's just super cute. So then you just lay it on a
dry rack
or a dry rack, and you let it dry. And then you keep turning it over, and then it dries, and it turns into this.
And
they're super cute. And then you can actually needle felt onto them.
You felt right onto the soap. You poke right into the soap with the needle.
Like this.
And you make this little heart or whatever you want to.
Yeah. You could do initials. You could do a whole
This is the funnest part. And they're cute and they're pretty.
It really felt good onto it, right?
Okay, so if you love felted soap, if you use it every day of your life,
please.
And you love
comment.
And you have thoughts about why you should use felted soap, we'd love to hear them.
Yeah.
Because we have been asked many times, do you guys do felted soap?
Teresa and I don't truly, that's why we haven't made a felted soap kit, because the Cornwall wool wet felts beautifully onto the soap.
It is very soft.
So. And look at this. How it foams up beautifully. Maybe that's part of it too.
The only benefit we see from this felted soap is it shows you how to felt.
How to wet felt. So chime in and let us know.
You love felted soap.
Yeah, because
we
did this with our fax teachers, and they all want to do this with their students because and we're going to put kits together for this.
Yeah, and I had one one of the teachers pulled me aside and say, what is the benefit of this felted soap? And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, oops, you asked the wrong person because I don't really understand it. We have stayed away from
we haven't created a kit.
anything with felted soap,
And we
because
easily
don't
could have,
understand
because
it.
we just not, but then when the home ec teachers were here, we're like, okay, what's an easy way to
show
teach
how
them how
wet
to
felting
wet felt, and felted soap is it. You know, because you need soap, you need agitation, and you need water, and
I have to
you
say,
can
this
do
is
it
cute,
in
and it's-
a little baggie without making a big mess like I did just here.
and it's soft.
Yeah,
But
it
I
is,
can't
and it's
see how
beautiful.
this soft soap here that we have would be exfoliating.
Yeah, I don't particularly. I can see maybe. I don't even know how it's gonna make the. I'll take it home and I will use it because it.
She's going to experiment.
Smells good.
Between now and next week.
Yep, I'm gonna report back
Okay, and we were also told that the wool shrinks
with the bar of soap, which we're curious on if this truly happens. So we're gonna research it. We haven't. We searched online. We haven't found any negative aspects. You know, like
I died.
like I caught a
bad
germ
disease
or something,
from
but
my
so maybe it's just us.
soap.
Yeah.
That's all, folks.